Anthony Yo Gabba Gabba is back with another ridiculous take, and you might be wondering, well, why don't you reply to any anti woke people anymore? Like, what happened to that? And the thing is, anti woke people are just very, very predictable. Like, like anytime they see like a minority or a woman as the main character, they just cry woke. And to be honest, while they're just too easy to make fun of because they're just so predictable and also very boring. But left leaning people, left leaning media people anyway, these people make up all sorts of dumb excuses and hypocritical arguments in order to feel morally superior for whatever reason over defending media or something like that. Like instead of actually getting a real job and contributing to society, like being a police officer or a firefighter or a hospital worker, these people will just defend media, and they think that they're on some sort of moral high ground for some reason. And they make all sorts of crazy and stupid excuses. Like recently, when one of my videos, someone said that the Gerudo from the Zelda games were problematic because it's offensive to Africans or Orientalists or something like that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, calm down. It's a freaking Zelda game. It's for babies. There's not meant to be taken seriously. Like, who goes into Zelda and thinks, Orientalism? Like, it's just stupid. But that's the thing about left leaning people. They see a piece of media and they have to insert their random moral high ground political views, and yeah, it's just way less predictable. Like next thing you know, someone will make a video complaining about One Piece being having some sort of toxic masculinity message or something like that. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I take no credit for this video, and this is another video by Anthony Gamagimi. And why white Black Panther is worse than Black Helen of Troy. I don't give a crap about either of these characters, by the way. But yeah, let's see what Anthony has to say. And I only have limited phone space, so I'm not going to reply to the whole video. Plus, there's a good chance that this video is very boring. But if you need like an hour to justify something, that's usually not a good. That's usually not a good sign, in my opinion. For example, right? I don't need to make an hour-long video justifying why the sun is hot. There's already tons of examples and evidence as to why the sun is hot. But when you need an hour to make up excuses to justify something, I don't know. It seems like a big stretch to me. All right, let's start.
That Helen of Troy in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is going to be played by Lupita Nyong'o. And
yeah, why can't they just get like a Greek person to play that character?
a lot of people...
Like, I have nothing against that actress that you just mentioned. She was in 12 Years a Slave, and that was a really great movie, but, I feel like she wouldn't really fit the role of Helen of Troy. But then again, I'm not seeing The Odyssey anyway, because the original poem or books for The Odyssey are so long that I feel like you can't just put it all into one movie. Like, there's definitely going to have to be, like, a part 2 or something.
People are mad about it. I mean, what do you expect? It's the internet.
We're told that we shouldn't object to Helen of Troy being...
Again, he's saying that people are mad about this, but nobody is mad. This person is very calm, and they're just shit-talking a movie. That's another thing about these leftist people, is that they mistake people talking shit and making fun of stuff for anger. God damn it. See, that made me angry. My PS5 doing something stupid without my permission. But but no, this person that you're using as an example of anger isn't angry at all. I don't like this person. I don't even know who she is. But she's just talking shit about a movie. I mean, is everybody angry for casually shit talking a piece of media from Hollywood? I don't think so.
We all know this is the case.
Now, this, of course, is not the first time that a black actress has played Helen of Troy. You see, Eartha Kitt played Helen back in 1950. Yeah, over 70 years ago, in Orson Welles' stage production of Time Runs, an adaptation of the Dr. Faustus storyline. This play helped launch Kitt's career, and from there she went on to play Catwoman, being the first black woman to play Catwoman, long
That's cool.
before she turned Cusco into a llama.
A cat is a cat. She has no race, creed, or color. The way I feel about myself as an entertainer. I have no race, creed, or color. I belong to everyone.
But yeah, no one seems to remember that, do they?
Well, yeah, because you're talking about something that nobody really cares about, Like, yeah, it launched her career for the time period, but that's something all the way back in the what, mid 1900s. This is 2026. People now have more access to it. And I'm pretty sure people were upset about that back in the day, but I don't know. I wasn't around back then. Neither were you.
I'm very supportive of Chris's intention with it and with the version of the story that he is telling. Our cast is representative of the world. I'm not spending my time thinking of the defense. The criticism will exist whether I engage with it or not.
In response to Nolan's Odyssey casting, a lot of commentators have said, well, if you're fine with a black Helen of Troy, what about a white Black Panther?
That's a pretty justifiable that's justifiable. That is a justifiable complaint and criticism, because Helen of Troy, that's a fictional character. Black Panther is a fictional character. So if you have no issue with one character being race swapped, then you should have no other issue with another character being race swapped as well. This is a very simple construct. Also, Anthony, don't you have a kid to be raising?
T'Challa.
So, this is what I was saying earlier.
Asmongold. Oh my god. It's still, I don't like Asmongold, but it's so funny how Asmongold just lives in these people's heads. Like Anthony Gramuglia, the Birdman, Otterly Noah. Like Asmongold just has a fascinating way of just making leftist people upset, and all he does is just give his opinions. Like why are they so upset about him? Is it because he's super rich and makes low effort content? I mean, yeah, I would be upset too. I would be upset too. But it's Asmongold. Stop letting Asmongold live rent free in your head.
That I don't know if this is true.
This is too much Asmongold for me. Like I said, I don't watch Asmongold at all.
But apparently there might be a white Black Panther. I don't know if this is happening or not. Only in the comics there is.
I'm staring at Asmongold's hair. Like it looks like he has like a ponytail on the back.
Dude, if they actually do the meme, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Ryan Gosling will be the new MCU? I guess so.
This is actually old. This isn't new. I think this picture got posted around the time that the movie...
Okay, so we're talking about the race mixing of, or race washing of Black Panther. We get the point. You don't need to show us more of those people.
Well, that's totally different. But people don't really explain why.
Wait, you said that's totally different.
This is a common response to a lot of race bending in media. And it often does get a response of someone going, oh, well, that's totally different. But people don't really explain why it's totally different, even though it obviously is. It seems inevitable that whenever there is a change in a character's race, there is backlash, especially if it's a formerly white.
Why can't they just like get accurate portrayals of characters, with the actual race? Like I can understand voice actors being different race from the characters that they're voicing, because voice actors, they don't really have an on-screen appearance. You can, like, for a while I didn't even know Samurai Jack was voiced by a black person until I was like in my 20s.
Character being recast.
From the team that brought you, why is Snow White Latina? Why are there black people in the rings?
Again, earlier he said that there's like anger, and none of these people sound angry. They're just casually criticizing something.
Power and Star Wars has gone woke. Comes the latest online
no more Nerdotic.
Thus, we see a battle between whitewashing and blackwashing, as it's been dubbed in some circles. It even gets extreme enough where fan artists who just draw, say, Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, that looks like AI. Are you sure that's a drawing? That looks like AI.
It's a black girl. They get doxxed and threatened and ridiculous.
Yeah, that sucks. But, oh well.
And we have another art-fixing controversy, I guess. Debacle. We're going to talk about some Dan to Dan fan art that...
I really don't like listening to these people, Anthony. You're exposing me to people that I casually avoid on a daily basis.
Characters white.
We've seen different depictions of Nessa, even before the game.
So we're still talking about the YouTubers that... Just get to the point, Anthony. Just explain why it's okay to race wash Helen of Troy and not Black Panther.
But people want to make this a big deal online.
I want to talk about everyone's favorite
God.
topic, blackwashing.
Yeah, that actually happened in Persona 1. For whatever reason, the people that worked on Persona 1 not just the Japanese, but someone was like, hey, let's make one of the Japanese characters black. And thankfully, I believe in the PSP port or remake or definitive edition or whatever, they made the character Mark his normal race again.
Most people like it when an actor or actress looks like the
Why are you digging up that Just a Robot footage? Like that, this is like years old, and now you're just making Just a Robot more relevant again.
character they're playing. Even with how many problems
Get Just a Robot out of
the
here.
outrage towards blackwashing, these same folks seem indifferent to whitewashing. I know, shocking, right? Especially
I like that smug laugh he did, like he thought he was cooking here.
Nolan's whitewashing. Not just in The Odyssey, but throughout his entire filmography. You see, The Odyssey's cast is almost entirely white, with few, if any, Greek or Mediterranean actors.
Yeah, that's true, but you know, Greeks are still technically white, you know, from a white continent. So, I mean, maybe they couldn't find enough Greek actors, but still having whites, you know, is still closer to Greek than you know, random black people.
Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, none of them are Greek, yet those are the core roles. Even among conservatives.
Again, nobody could really, and that's the thing with white people, you can't really tell what European descent they're from. You know, like I just found out one of my recent family members was from has Poland origin, and yeah, like when you go up to a white person, you know, you can't really tell what they're descendant from unless they're very, very open about their culture. You know, like an Italian family, you know, that they'll always bring up Italian heritage and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, white people, you know, you can't really tell which white ancestor they came from, you know, at least in America anyway, because America is full of white people from different European countries that have, you know, adapted to American culture over time, you know, losing their accents, losing their heritage, all that kind of stuff. While in Europe, and I've been to Europe, you know, the white people there are more close to their heritage and more traditional and all that kind of stuff.
Who are upset with
Overall, I'm just saying, like, having white people play Greek actors is better than, you know, other races playing, you know, Greek actors. Or, I'm sorry, Greek characters. I said actors by accident.
Wango, the biggest, most popular replacement for her among conservative commentators is Sydney Sweeney. At this point,
I don't know who that is, but yeah, Helen of Troy. Yeah, this woman right here, that looks better than New Wango. Yeah, choose her, Sydney Sweeney. I don't know. I'm not a celebrity person. I mostly recognize the fictional characters than I do the actual actresses.
Should have been Helen of Troy. That one is Helen.
But I don't see the issue here. This guy's recommending someone who's more fit to be Helen of Troy. In your last video, you even pointed out that Helen of Troy had features of a white woman and had blonde hair. So, yeah, you know, this is a very reasonable critique.
Of Congo.
This is, of course, aligned with a general indifference to whitewashing from mainstream media, perhaps because historically it's been pretty prevalent. You see, Nolan has often cast primarily white casts in roles that are either ambiguously not white or absolutely not white. In Batman Begins, for example, Liam Neeson plays Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul.
Father's name was pronounced Raish, not Raz.
I'm so tired of this joke. Even Arkham Knight in 2015 made that joke.
A common mistake.
Ra's uses the moniker Henry Ducard at first, who in the comics is the man who helped train Bruce Wayne in manhunting and all that. Ducard in the comics is a white guy, sure, but Ra's is more ambiguous in the comics. Various writers have changed Rash's identity and ethnicity. It is generally agreed now that he is of Middle Eastern and Asian descent.
Okay, so we just acknowledge that Ra's al Ghul has, you know, multiple interpretations, whereas Helen of Troy, as far as I know, only has like one interpretation.
Though that's very ambiguous beyond.
And even then, there's really nothing ambiguous about Helen of Troy's race. You know, she was Greek.
What that means. An early origin even implied he was born in North Africa. What he isn't, though, is white. Similarly, his daughter...
What are you talking about? In the Batman Begins movie, he was white.
Talia al Ghul is also not Arabic or Asian in the films, but white. But does this change who they are on a fundamental level? Well, I don't really know.
Well, the answer is no. The fact that you don't know kind of just says a lot about you.
Nolan changes so many elements of both characters already.
And that's the thing. That's Nolan's interpretation of, Batman. Now, the thing with Batman is that there's hundreds of interpretations, and if we take, oh my goodness, if we take into the whole multiverse shit that's happened in a lot of superhero media, we can get all types of Batman. There could be a black Batman, a Mexican Batman, And Nolan's interpretation of Ra's al Ghul is white, and that's okay, because Ra's al Ghul is a fictional character. Now, Helen of Troy is a fictional character, but Helen of Troy has more historical relevance and impact compared to a comic book character.
It's hard to say which ones are anchored to nationality and which ones are anchored to just the character writing. There's no Lazarus Pit, Roz.
Has Anthony thought about asking Greeks how they feel? But then again, I don't know if he can afford a trip to Greece.
Is much younger than his counterpart in the comics, Raish. Talia is not the mother.
I don't care about your views on Raish. Oh, it says no outrage about Christopher Nolan's. All right.
Venom.
Oh, hey, it's Bane, a lot of people's favorite character. Let's see what he has to say about Bane.
His father was a revolutionary who was
the
entire character to justify them not being a person of color is Bane. In The Dark Knight Rises, Bane is played by Tom Hardy, who gives a fairly, I don't know if beloved is the right word, iconic performance, memorable, maybe, easily memed on. However, unlike Tom Hardy,
why is this video an hour long?
Bane is not of British descent. He's from a Caribbean island between Cuba and Jamaica. He's Latino. His father was a revolutionary who was slain in battle, and the father's sentence was carried out upon his son. So Bane, a nameless baby, was sent to Peña before being born. He became the most dangerous.
Oh, look at that. He looks pretty white in this image.
prisoner there, and a test subject of the experimental strength-enhancing drug, Venom.
Thank you for just giving everybody a plot synopsis out of nowhere.
He then
Why can't you just go get to the point already? Why'd you have to give us a whole background story?
His own death and escaped, becoming a crime lord in the process with his sights set on Batman. So right there, that is fundamentally different than the Dark Knight Rises origin. But the iconic...
Well, that's the thing, though. This is a different interpretation of Batman. That's why it's okay for this version of Bane to not be Hispanic, because this version of Bane has connections to the League of Shadows, and that's totally different from, like a Hispanic, South American, Caribbean, or whatever culture,
Mask.
It's just two different story arcs.
That's the problem. You see, that had to be rewritten. In Nolan's film, the mask distributes a drug that staves off chronic pain from injury sustained, helping Talia Ghul escape prison. But in the comics, that's not the case. Venom is often not injected orally through the mouth, but usually intravenously. So then, what's the mask for? Well, it's very simple. It's a luchador mask, which makes sense for a Latino man who grew up in a prison, who idolized power and being unbeatable.
That makes sense. If a Latino person goes to prison, that makes sense for them to wear a luchador mask. I'm just thinking about that now. Just imagine that. Hey, Armando, I'm going to prison. I need to have a Hispanic luchador mask. Okay. How does that make sense? It's freaking comic book logic. It doesn't really make much sense.
It's a sign of loss.
The main reason Bane wears that mask is because it's iconic, and the creators of Bane thought it looked cool.
Strength. But it's not British. It's not something Tom Hardy could wear and make sense. So Nolan had to...
it doesn't really make much sense to begin with. Not every... geez, Anthony, you're kind of sounding racist here. Saying that Hispanic people, who get arrested end up wearing a luchador mask, racist. All right, I'm running out of camera space, so I'm just going to stop the video here. But yeah, this boy is really reaching.